All this summer, we're taking a look at unique Canadian stories in honor of Canada 150. Today, we're looking at the brotherhood and sisterhood that exists amongst first responders. When the devastating wildfire hit Fort McMurray last year, firefighters from all over Alberta and the world came together to assist, a situation that is not uncommon in times of crisis. Chief Steve Dongworth is Calgary's fire chief and organized his department's response. Captain Tom Caves was one of the firefighters who volunteered to go in Calgary's first dispatchment. Captain Damien Asher is a Fort McMurray firefighter who lost his own home in the fire. Here's what they have to say about their experiences and the bonds between first responders.
Well, we had around 400 of our staff went to Fort McMurray, and more people than that volunteered. In fact, we never had a challenge of filling a shift to go up there. There were always more people wanting to go than we could actually send, which is very typical in our culture, actually, where people are very motivated to step up to the plate when any community is threatened. Of course, normally it's our community, but if, in this case, it's a very remote community, but our people just do that. It's part of our DNA, I guess.
Our goal up there was fire suppression. We went up there with initially, I think it was 6 rigs. Right from the time that we landed on the doorstep sort of thing, we were put into action. There were fires all around the town at that point, and it was just a point of trying to get organized, trying to get a plan together. It was a bit overwhelming. I've been to Slave Lake and I've seen that one, but this is just a bigger scale of a town that's deserted. Houses, communities are burnt down. Cars all over the place, just abandoned. You can tell that was a mass exodus. And then just the amount of flame and smoke that had to be dealt with at the time was just overwhelming at the time.
It was a huge relief. We were, it's a fire that wasn't like any other fire that anybody's seen before. And obviously we needed more resources than what we had available. So for them to leave their communities and come up and give us a hand with the resources that they had was tremendous. It was amazing.
It doesn't matter where anybody's from. Firefighters are a brotherhood, so it just makes sense that we would, if there's a task at hand, it doesn't matter who you're fighting the fire behind. Everybody's trying to lend a hand, and it wasn't just Fort McMurray. It was guys from Edmonton, all over the province, basically, that we were working with.
There's an incredible sense of camaraderie between firefighters, regardless of what uniform you wear. One of the most interesting examples to me was when we interacted with wildland firefighters up there, who we don't often get to, and they have very different training to us. They're quite different in the work that they do. But again, we just came together, and I know a lot of our crews were functioning in very close proximity to wildland firefighters as well, and it was like an instant connection there in terms of, and we learned so much from each other as well.
We had professionals and we had volunteers come up, so each one's equally as helpful. The skill sets were great in different atmospheres, different environments, and the eagerness of all of them to work hard, or if not harder than all of us, just to help us out with what our needs was absolutely amazing.
The firefighters up there, you can see the emotional toll it has taken on them. I mean, some of these guys had already lost their own homes and they were still fighting to protect, their neighbors' homes and stuff. You can see the look on their face. They didn't even have to say it. They'd been fighting this fire for a few days before we had gotten up there, so it had taken its toll by that point, and we were just happy to be there to help, sort of thing.
Always, it doesn't matter where you go, right? You travel around, you see firefighters with shirts on, we wear stickers in the back, say we're a member of an organization. It doesn't matter where you go in the world, we're an international organization, the same training across the world. So we respect each other equally for that, regardless of what city it is we work in.
No matter where you go in the world, if you drop into the local fire station and they find out you're a firefighter, there's an instant bond there, which is the brotherhood, sisterhood. You get that, I think, in a lot of occupations where people risk their lives regularly. We go into situations which most other people wouldn't go into and wouldn't want to, and most people actually are running away from. When you have that bond of knowing that, I think it creates a fairly strong connection between people of the same occupation.
It's an instant bond right away, sort of thing, and like the chief said here, it doesn't matter where you go in the world. You're welcome into their fire hall, and you're swapping stories, swapping good times and bad times, sort of thing. So it's an understanding that, and it's like the chief said, it's a brotherhood, sisterhood that that I cherish.
thank you to Chief Steve Dongworth, Captain Tom Caves, and Captain Damian Asher for speaking with us. We'll be right back.